please tell us your name and spell your last name?
James Davis, D-A-V-I-S.
And can you speak that microphone a little closer?
How's that?
Where do you live? What do you do for a living?
Chiropractor.
Do you know Jeremy best?
Yes.
Do you know Callie best?
Yeah.
Tell us how you know them.
They were friends and patients.
Both Jeremy and Callie were patients of yours?
Yes.
And for how long?
Years. I don't know how many years.
I'll have you just increase your volume of your voice, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll speak up a little bit. I understand hearing because I can't hear.
Okay.
Okay,
And so as a chiropractor, what's your training to be a chiropractor?
graduate school. So
You've been a chiropractor for how long?
about 43 or 4 years.
And you're licensed in the state of Idaho?
Yes.
And so what were you treating Jeremy best for?
Lower back pain,
And what would you do for him?
adjusting. He had certain therapies that seemed to help him. He had pain in the middle part of his back that was always chronic, so just from the type of work he did. So tried to help him with pain relief and to keep it mobile.
And was Callie also a patient at the same time?
Yes,
What would you treat her for?
lower back pain and occasional neck pain.
What, so the spinal manipulation or massaging, is that what you do?
Yeah.
And also medicines?
No, some nutrition sometimes, but no, I don't do medicine.
So you
No
don't,
drugs.
when I talk about medicine, you're saying you don't give them any prescription medicine?
Right.
So would you work with them on natural medicines?
Yes.
And what kind of medicines was Jeremy on?
You know, I don't recall. I know he was going off, he told me he's going off the medications that he was on. And so probably general vitamins, I would think. I
And
don't
was he
recall all the details.
buying those in your store?
Yeah, I would imagine, I think he was.
And did he tell you that he was using marijuana?
No,
Did he tell you about DMSO?
he did. Yeah.
And is that what you had him buy at your place?
No.
What is DMSO?
It's a dimethyl sulfate that's a solvent, and it's used mostly as a horse liniment.
As a what?
Horse liniment
Portion
for sprains and strains. So it's has anti-inflammatory effects.
So was Jeremy using DMSO?
Yeah, he told me he was. Yeah.
Okay. And did you recommend that for him, or was he just doing that on his own?
No, he was doing that on his own.
And what about Callie? What was she taking?
Vitamins and minerals was about all I can remember that she was on.
Both of them wanted to treat their pain with natural remedies.
Yeah, much as they could, yeah.
What is kratom?
I don't know for sure. It's some type of I think it's some kind of an herb from what I've read about it. That
Do you sell?
It's a painkiller.
Do you sell kratom?
No.
And so, leading up to the events of November 30th of 2023, were you in contact with Jeremy and Callie the day before that incident?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Kelly called me and asked me if I could come over. And I said, of course. And I asked her if Jeremy knew about it, and she goes, yeah, he's the one that said to call you. So I went over to their house. And I think that was on a Wednesday night, and just visited with them for about an hour. And just talked to him.
talk with both of them?
Yeah, they were all three sitting there, yeah.
And were you concerned about Jeremy's mental state?
No, not as far as, I was always concerned about the mental state because he said, as I was getting ready to leave, he said, "I'm Thor." And I go, well, so we talked about that for a minute or two. So we all probably have these energies in us somewhere, but that's not real. And but he told me I wasn't concerned about anything violent. It's totally against Jeremy's nature. It just wasn't part of him. And he looked at Callie and Zeke and said, "These two are my lifeline." He said, "This is why I live." So that's a conversation.
You could tell they were a loving, happy family.
Yeah, always have been.
Every time you interacted with them, they were happy and
Yeah.
treated each other well.
Respectful of each other. Yeah.
When he told you he was Thor, did he mean Thor, the Norse god?
That's what I would assume. Yeah.
And was he joking, or did you wonder if he really thought that?
You know, I think in the moment when he said that he really thought it. And then I think the next moment he realized that it wasn't. So
What is lithium orotate?
lithium orotate. Lithium is an essential mineral that we have in our bodies that we need to have, and it's used for a lot of different things. But one of the things is to mellow out moods.
And did you, on that night, November 29th, 2023, did you bring with you some lithium orotate?
I did. I gave it to Jeremy and said, maybe this will help you kind of mellow out the moods. He told me he hadn't slept since Thanksgiving, so he was totally sleep deprived at that point.
And sleep deprivation, can that have an effect on your mood?
Oh yeah, effect on everything.
And is this lithium taken by capsule or in a drink or rubbed on you?
No, these are tablets. They're lithium orotate, which is not the same as the drug lithium that they give for depression. It's actually an essential mineral.
Anything about that meeting on that night that would have caused you concern about anyone's safety?
No.
All right, thank you, sir.
No.
Any cross-examination?
Yes, briefly. Very briefly, when Jeremy told you he was taking the DSMO, did you caution him about taking drugs like that or supplements like that?
Not really, because Jeremy is absolutely brilliant. So he did all the research on that. But I don't know a lot about DMSO.
Okay, but you know it's primarily a horse tranquilizer or a thing to help with horses.
Yeah, it's not a tranquilizer, it's actually a liniment to help with pain. So if you have a sprained ligament or a pulled tendon, that's where you put it on as a horse liniment.
And Jeremy was researching and choosing what he took.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. Mr. Archibald, any direct?
No.
Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Defense calls Mary Topp.
about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes.
Thank you. Any choir? Will you tell us your name and spell your last name?
My name is Mary Toft, T-O-F-T.
Where do you live?
I live in Driggs.
Do you know Jeremy and Callie Best?
Yes.
How do you know them?
From the ski hill.
As employer, employee, or just ski friends?
Ski friends.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
I have a lot of jobs, but I'd like to say photography, but it kind of ebbs and wanes because I do mostly ski and snowboard photography, so it's a little tough in the summer.
And how did you get to know Jeremy and Callie?
Initially, I sent Callie a DM on Instagram because sometimes Instagram will like feed you people in the area, and so I came across her page and I was like, she seems really cool. She's like a snowboard girl. I don't have many snowboard friends, so I messaged her and I was like, we should ride sometime, and she's like, yeah. And Callie and Jeremy were at the hill a lot, and I was there every day, so it just sort of like naturally happened that we would take laps together, and then from there it kind of progressed. I had an old Volkswagen GTI at the time, and I needed an oil change, so Jeremy offered to do that, and then that would turn into dinners with them, and then movie, you know, just sort of on and on from there.
And so did you consider them good friends by the time November 2023 came around?
Yeah.
And did you, in part of your photography business, did you take photos of them?
Yeah.
And how many times would you do?
Oh, I don't know, but a lot of it was informal, you know, it was a beautiful day, take some photos of them on the hill, or powder day or something, or Callie would need some photos for some promotions she was doing for online things, and then sometimes like family photos as well. So I would say maybe like a couple times a year, maybe.
And did you take family photos of them in the fall of 2023?
I did. It was going to be their Christmas card as well as their baby number 2 announcement photos.
And I think we've seen a copy of that photo during our presentation. Is that the photo that you took?
Yeah, I took a bunch and that was one of them.
Okay. And tell us about Jeremy and Callie's relationship while they were around you.
It was always Callie and Jeremy, you know, they were always together, and they were always ready for an adventure, ready for fun, and very supportive, very loving, and yeah, they were just, I considered them my family.
Were you ever concerned for Callie's safety?
No,
Ever concerned for Zeke's safety?
no,
Ever hear them argue about money?
no,
Ever hear them argue about divorce?
no.
Did you receive a call or a text from either of them on November 29th, 2023?
Yeah, both of them.
Tell us about that.
So I woke up to missed calls and some texts from both of them. That was Wednesday morning, right? That's the 29th?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, and the text from Jeremy said, "Are you alive?" And then the text from Callie said something like, "Are you available? We need some help," or something. So I called her back, and I thought something was wrong with Zeke. Like, that was my initial, I don't know why I thought that, but I was like, oh, something's wrong, maybe Zeke. So I called right away, and she said, Jeremy's massage therapist has given him a copy of the Book of Mormon, and he wants to talk to you about it. And I was like, what? Okay. sure, you know, so I immediately realized it wasn't like a real issue, but I was like, yeah, I'll come over and have a chat, no problem. So I went over that morning, maybe about 9:30 or 10, I would say.
And how long did you stay?
Maybe an hour and a half.
What was the conversation about?
He did ask about the Book of Mormon. He wanted to know about the priesthood, and so I sort of chatted with him a little bit about it, but I don't recall a ton from that conversation. I remember we covered a bunch of topics, and it was like a little sporadic. Jeremy seemed a little like, I wouldn't say agitated, just maybe like a lot of energy. And I remember thinking like, okay, well, this is what we're doing. And I wasn't like, oh, this is weird, but I just thought, okay, off we go. And so we chat about this, chat about that, and both of them did mention how he wasn't sleeping at that morning. And also, I had taken those family photos on Sunday prior, and they had mentioned him not sleeping then as well. And so I remember being like, oh, still, like, wow, that's an issue. And I probably asked if there was anything I could do to help, but I think I was like, what can I do to help? You know, how do you help someone sleep? I don't know. But yeah, I remember them saying he couldn't sleep, and I also remember he kept telling Callie how much he loved her and how he said it a bunch of times. So that's why it was like noteworthy to me. And I was like, wow, like yeah, there's a lot of love here.
And was that unusual? Was that common?
I think it was only unusual just because like he kept like belaboring the point. Maybe belaboring's not the right word, but like he just kept saying it. And over the course of my relationship with them, yeah, he would say it. It's not like that was the first time I heard it, but it was noteworthy to me that he kept saying it.
And why would they call you for information about the LDS church?
Because I'm a member of that church, and I have been for a while. They always knew. I think Jeremy had a friend growing up who was a part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and so it wasn't something that we would talk about all the time. But if it came up, you know, we'd chat about it. And so yeah, they knew I was part of that church.
So you say he had questions about scriptures. Were they questions about the end of the world or about other parts of the scriptures?
I think a little bit, but like I said, I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what we talked about.
You just thought that's kind of random, but I'll answer your questions anyway.
Yeah, to the best of my ability.
Okay, thank you.
Does the state have any crossed?
No, you're not.
Very well, thank you.
The defense calls David Hay.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir, thank you. Counsel, you may inquire.
Will you please tell us your name and spell your last name?
David Hay, H-A-Y.
And where do you live?
I live in Ammon, Idaho.
And what do you do for a living?
I have a couple jobs. I'm self-employed. I have a handyman business, and I'm also a massage therapist.
And do you know Jeremy best?
Yes.
How do you know Jeremy?
In about August of 2003, he inquired in a phone conversation with me about an appointment for massage.
I'm sorry.
He inquired for massage through a phone call.
And so how often did you give him a massage?
He came about every other week or 2 times a week sometimes.
Every other week? For how long?
for 3 months until November.
So, August of 2023 to about November of 2023. And what was the purpose of the massage?
He was seeking pain relief,
And where was he hurting?
middle back, lower back, neck, arms.
And are you a licensed massage therapist?
Yes,
And you felt qualified to give him some pain relief?
yes,
And as far as you could tell, what were the massages helping with pain?
yes.
And how long would these sessions last?
Massage sessions were an hour long, but we would talk a lot, so it would be an hour and a half.
Okay. Sometimes you would talk about subjects other than just the pain that he was having.
Yes, we talk about the future a little bit.
Did you meet his wife and child?
No, but I look forward to it. He referred to bringing her.
So he talked a lot about them, but didn't actually bring them with him.
No,
Then, did your topic of discussion turn to religion on more than one occasion?
we talked philosophy, yes.
And did you talk about the Book of Mormon?
He inquired in the Book of Mormon, yes.
And how did he know that you had the Book of Mormon?
He's quite versed on the Bible, and we would talk commonalities between the two books.
And so did you give him the Book of Mormon?
Yes, he inquired, and I told him I'd get him one, and bought one, and give it to him.
And when you went and bought one, was it what sometimes is called a quad? It has the Bible, the Book of Mormon, and other books in it?
Yes, we had the quad.
So the quad is what's used by LDS people for reading scriptures?
And it answers lots of questions, has references and quote. You can just look at every word, multiple directions, multiple ways, and so you can answer your own questions.
And that's what you gave to him as a present? Or did he buy it from you?
No, I gave it to him.
Did you have discussions about the book?
Only one time.
What do you recall about that?
Talking about families and it was pretty much general conversation. I remember getting deep into it, but I don't remember the depth of words.
Okay. Would you talk about what's called the priesthood?
I don't recall.
Would you talk about Jesus?
Yes,
Would you talk about the end of the world?
I don't recall. No.
And then on November 30th, November 29th, 2023, did you receive an early morning call from him?
Yes, at 5 a.m.
5 a.m.? Was it a phone call or a text?
a phone call.
And tell us about that.
The phone rang, and I don't normally get calls that quite that early. There was a client of mine, it's Jeremy Best. Sometimes I get emergency calls, but not like that. But I answered, and it was Jeremy. It was on the caller ID also.
And then tell us about your conversation with Jeremy.
I said hello, and he said, "Hi, Dave." I'm like, "Hi." He goes, "Did you have the phone number for the missionaries?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Can you send them over?" I said, "If I can find their number, I will. And that was that. He said, "You better send them over. I need them." So what I took that into that conversation was, it felt like he was just in mental anguish and needed more answers to his questions. But I didn't ask any other questions. I just said, sure, I'll just send them over if I can find the numbers. I spent about 3 hours after that looking up the, I think it was Pocatello phone numbers to get a hold of the missionaries. And I didn't really know how, but I finally did and sent them. But that wasn't until about 10 or 10 a.m.
Okay. And so this call was strange and unusual.
Yeah, it was not normal. There is a code of ethics with the massage therapy that you're not supposed to be friends with your clients, and it was very hard with Jeremy not to be friends. He was very friendly and he offered his help with problems. Like, oh, your car's sounding weird. You might want to bring it up and we'd fix it. I mean, who could resist something like that? And
So did you do that?
no,
That he had offered to fix your car in case it needed fixing?
yes.
Any concerns about Jeremy? Sounds like he's going to hurt somebody.
Never, no.
All right, thank you.
Sir, before you step down, let's find out if the state has any cross-examinations.
We don't.
Okay. Very well.
The defense calls John Lord.
I swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Inquire.
Can you tell us your name and spell your last name?
John Lord, L-O-R-D.
Where do you live?
I live outside Driggs.
And what do you do for work?
I'm self-employed, I'm a general contractor, and I also do all the road work.
Do you know Jeremy and Callie best?
I do.
How do you know them?
I've known them for about 5 years, known through mutual friend.
Would you do social things with them,
Yes.
like barbecues?
Primarily, the biggest event was we would have what we call Scotch cigar night over either one of our places.
And Scotch night was the boys getting together and talking about current events.
Current events and also doing a little bit of barbecuing as well. So, yes.
Now, during these times, would Jeremy drink alcohol?
Never seen him take a drop.
Would he smoke cigars?
No.
And how many guys were typically involved in Scotch night?
Primarily, it was just the three of us, three friends.
You and Jeremy and
Well, it was myself, Colin Hill, Scott Knoll, and Jeremy. That was pretty much the four.
And Colin Hill, he's the gentleman who's been seated next to you.
Correct.
Your Honor, he submitted a letter yesterday morning for the court's consideration.
The state received it. The court reviewed it. Thank you.
And so, tell us about Jeremy and Callie. Get the court's feelings to who they were.
They're a great couple. Appeared to love each other a lot. Busy, both of them. Both of them would step out of their way to help you. No questions asked. They helped and offer even if you didn't ask. Just became closer and closer friends as time went on. And, typically for me, I just don't let people too close in my fold, but I felt that those two were, became good friends with them because of their actions.
So, say during the year 2023, how frequently would you see Jeremy and Callie?
I was in the process of building a home out of state, so my time there was limited. But, you know, it was probably at least once or twice a month at minimum. So,
And during this once or twice a month, how many hours would you spend?
4, 5, 6 hours sometimes, depending on how late the start night went.
Yeah. Would you and Jeremy work on cars together?
Not specifically work on them together, but, you know, as I come over and I'd always look over what he's working on and have some commentary, we'd have commentary back and that type of thing. Or he came over to my shop, he'd stare at what I was doing and kind of go from there.
And you, during this time, also met Zeke, then?
I did.
And describe Jeremy and Callie and Zeke together. How would you describe them?
Zeke would come around a corner and Jeremy would just light right up. I think quite honestly, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to him. He absolutely adored that shop. Just in his actions, and so did Callie, you know, of course. But you know, together they seemed like a great little family.
Did Jeremy have a swing for Zeke in his garage?
He did one of his little roller, little deal, I don't know what you call it, but yeah, there was definitely some Zeke toys outside in the shop area.
So even when Jeremy was in his shop working on cars, sometimes Callie and Zeke would be there with him?
Yes.
Did you know that Callie was pregnant?
I did.
And how, tell us about those conversations about her having another baby.
Really didn't really have much conversation with her. It was just, you know, congratulations for having another. You know, yeah, thanks. You know, and it was just that. That was about the gist of it.
And were you ever concerned about the safety of Callie or Zeke?
No.
You ever see or hear of Jeremy threatening Callie or Zeke?
No.
Did Jeremy confide in you as to what was going on in his life in the fall of 2023 about why he was feeling stressed?
No, not really. I mean, other than the fact you walk in the door and he's, you know, struggling with working on a specific vehicle or it's giving him a hard time, or, you know, client was being, you know, difficult in either what they wanted done or payment or things like that. It's just standard, you know, typical things, you know, what I see.
Did Jeremy and Callie confide in you about the credit card debt?
No, it's not my business.
Did you go to the home, were you asked to come to the home on the morning of November 30th, 2023?
I went to the home.
And tell us about that.
I was bringing back a baking dish. Callie had made me a lasagna because she knew I was in transit and I live alone at my shop. And she brought a lasagna for me and left it at my shop for me. And bringing her baking dish back. And that was the reason why I was returning. I was returning the dish.
So tell us about your interaction with Jeremy and Callie.
Didn't have any interaction with Callie that day, but I interacted with, I interacted with her later on the phone and through text, but interacted with Jeremy. He came out, and he just had the look of just scared and fear. Just, I don't know how to ever explain it, but he, you know, he came up. He didn't give me the typical "Hey, buddy." I got basically "Hey," and "Hey, how's it going?" He says, "I haven't slept in 5 days," and he says, "I'm burning up." And he his fist out, and I grabbed hold of his hand, and it was notably hot, excessively hot. We just exchanged a couple little comments back and forth. He went and walked into the shop. He mentioned something. I don't really caught the whole thing. He came back out, asked me if I'd seen Cal. I said no. I said I don't have much time because I was leaving to go back down to Wyoming and work on the house. And left shortly thereafter.
You had never seen him in that state before?
Never, not like that. Not that look in his eye. I've never seen that from him. He's always been, very happy, cheery, cordial. But I've never seen him look in his eye like that, ever.
Never felt his skin as being hot to the touch?
I've never felt anybody's skin that hot, ever. I mean, it was, when he held out his fist and I grabbed his hand, it was, I was in the fire department for 8 years, so I've had a lot of interaction with people and, having to help move them around and things like that, and I've never felt anybody's hand that hot.
And was it later that morning that you heard that he was at the Swan Valley store and taking off his clothes?
Callie had texted me to keep an eye out for Jeremy. He took off in the white van pretty much right shortly after I left. And then I had talked to her, called her on the phone, went into town and talked to her on the phone, and she was on her way to go get the van.
Did you communicate with her as she was driving to and from her Mac in Randall? That's the last thing?
That was the last time. And next anything I knew was the Amber Alert. Next thing I knew after that, Colin called me and told me what had happened.
And how did that make you feel?
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. I lost a friend. And a friend did. You can't put words to that. It's horrific. It's horrible. In all aspects. So many people just lost it.
All right, thank you.
Anything from the state?
No.
Thank you, sir. Then you can step down.
Defense calls Max Randall.
Forward, sir. Madam Clerk will place you under oath.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
This way.
You may inquire.
Will you tell us your name and spell your last name?
My name is Max Randall, Randall.
Where do you live?
My residence was in Berkeley. I'm moving to Vermont.
To where?
Vermont.
Vermont. Okay.
Marlborough, Vermont.
What do you do for work?
I'm a sales engineer.
Do you know Jeremy and Callie best?
I do. I've known Jeremy since 1994 and Callie since they started dating. I forget when that was, like 14 years ago, 12 years ago.
And how did you get to know Jeremy?
We met through friends in Jackson, Wyoming, in various social scenes, and through snowboarding at Jackson. And then, yeah, that was really something as well.
Did you do social activities together then?
Lots. We hiked, hung out, went to movies, snowboarded, swimming, hiking.
How frequently would you see them, say, when Jeremy and Callie first got together?
Usually once or twice a year. We'd usually do Christmas and I'd come to the house for a couple of weeks. If work or travel allowed, or he was in the area, we'd come and stay with him.
Tell us about Jeremy and Callie.
She was his anchor. She helped build the business. She helped him get more organized, more together. She was amazing. She balanced him and they were the counterpoint. In my opinion, she was perfect for him. And he was loving and affectionate, but had the banter as many couples do. But yeah, he did all sorts of things for her.
And when you'd come into town, would you spend about a week or two with them then?
Yeah, maybe constant contact. Basically living in her house. Sometimes it was on as little notices, a few hours.
Jeremy and Callie, did they travel to your home?
No, I haven't really been in a position to host people for some time. A while ago, probably 20, 30 years, Jeremy did come down and visit in Salt Lake City when I lived there 20 years ago.
So you knew them before they got married and then after they got married? Anything change about their relationship?
Got better, got closer. It was the evolution of the relationship.
And you found out that Callie was pregnant with Zeke?
I was in Chicago O'Hare Airport, so I called Jeremy to say hello. Maybe they called me, and they were ecstatic. And it was tremendous. And I think it catalyzed me to commit to my now wife and work towards our now son.
And so did you meet Zeke?
I did not get the opportunity to. That would have been this past that Christmas after he was born.
Zeke was born in January. Did you visit them the Christmas before that?
I was with them that Christmas, and my now wife was with us as well. And we stayed with them for another week. I was there for about 2 weeks. My wife was there for this one.
So when you wouldn't visit face to face, did you stay in touch on the phone?
Yeah, absolutely. We'd talk anywhere from a couple times a week to every couple of months. It was sporadic, but our friendship was pretty constant, such that we could fall out of touch for a couple of months and just pick right back up.
Did you ever see any disagreements between Jeremy and Callie?
All the time. They're a married couple, and they fought as married couples too, but it was pretty much what every married couple does. And, it was never any violence though.
Were you ever concerned about Callie's safety?
No.
Tell us about November 30th, 2023. What do you remember about that?
I was packing up to head up to Tahoe, and I got a call from Callie. she was distressed because she was told she had to come get Jeremy, and she was driving to Idaho Falls to pick him up, and she gave me a recap of what had happened and her thing where the days that had led up to, sort of the days that had led up to that day. She was very distressed and that she had to go get him. And so, yeah, we talked about it. It was a very wide-ranging conversation. Then throughout that day, we were texting, so she's keeping me posted on things. And then by the time I got the call from her and Jeremy, frequently we would speak, be on speakerphone and talk with both of them. The phone would just be on their table. I had said earlier in the day that if you need anything, call me, I can get there. It sounds like a bad situation. I can be there in about 12 hours. And in the call that evening, she said, Max, you're on your way, right? And I said, yeah, I'm on my way. That was my cue to pack up. And yeah, and so I spoke with them that evening.
And tell us about Jeremy's statements too.
He asked me a question that really put me on my heels. He said, who is Calvin? He had no recollection of his wife or who she was to him. His exact words were, who is Callie to me? And I started, I told him that this is your wife, this is your partner, this is the mother of your children, childhood. You taught her how to hunt. Look over, I tried to ground him with features in the room. I said, look over on the wall above the stove. There's the antlers. That was Callie's first kill. You taught her how to shoot, taught her how to hunt. Callie showed me the scar on her arm. That's from when she was learning how to snowboard. You taught her how to snowboard. So, and he said he didn't know what was going on, and his character was like a flip book. He kept changing from, a normal conversation to being scared, very scared, not knowing what was going on, saying he doesn't know what's going on, and laughing a couple of points. I'm kind of nervous. Yes. Yeah, that's.
And so when Callie gave you the prompt, you're on your way, what did that mean? Had you made some arrangement with Callie?
I said I could be there, and it sounded like, this sounds like a bad situation. If you need me to be there, I can. I can be there in 12 hours, and I'll be in Tahoe, in near Truckee, and I can pack up and leave. And so that was my promise. When she said that, I threw my stuff in my car and started driving.
And did you learn, or what did you learn at the homicide?
At 7 in the morning, about after driving most of the night with a map outside the walls, I was in just past Jackpot, Nevada, when a friend of ours, friend of Jeremy's and mine from the late 90s sent the Amber Alert to me. I don't know if it was the former Amber Alert or if it was a internal first responder. A friend had somebody who was a first responder in Teton County that had forwarded it to him.
How did that make you feel?
Crushed. Stop driving. There was no reason to continue driving at that point. So I turned around and went slowly.
If Jeremy would have been in his right mind, would that have happened?
No, absolutely not. If he hadn't, Callie hadn't gotten him, Callie hadn't gotten him and tried to make him comfortable, none of it would happen. If he had been, if I had told her to not show up, refuse to take custody, which she could have done, she should have done, and
You asked her to not go to Ermac and pick him up, but leave
no,
him
I
there.
should have. Should have said, you don't need to go. There's no legal obligation for you to go pick him up. Let him stay there. He wants to be released. Somebody probably has to accept him. They can't, I don't know why he was released. I don't know why she would, I don't know. I don't think there's ever the question of, are you able to take care of somebody who's gone through a mental health crisis? I don't think that's a question that's asked.
Callie loved Jeremy, wanted to help him.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you, sir.
Anything from the state? Sir, thank you for your testimony. Please step down.
The defense calls Brian Newcomb.
What's the name? Ryan Meekum. Come forward. Sir, Madam Clerk will place you in row.
Swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
You may inquire.
Will you tell us your name and spell your last name?
My name is Brian Meekum, M-E-C-H-A-M.
Where do you live?
I live in Idaho Falls.
And what do you do for work?
I am the mental health clinician for the Bonneville County Jail.
And how long have you done that?
I've been there for about 23 years.
Do you know Jeremy best?
Yes.
How do you know Jeremy?
I met him when he was working in the Bonneville County Jail a few years ago here.
December 1st or 2nd of 2023. Does that sound right?
Sounds right.
So you've seen him how frequently since December 1st of 2023?
Well, when he first came in, I saw him a few times a week. And then since then, I've seen him everywhere from, once a week to every other week. So I was looking, it's probably about 80 times since he's been in.
And I should say December 2nd of 2023, when he was arrested. So what are your job duties as it relates to Jeremy Best?
My main role with Mr. Best is, in something like that, is to ensure that their mental health is as stable as we can get it. And that entails various different things from, visiting, monitoring, not just with me, but with collateral contacts through the deputies, and so I can check with them and see, how he's doing, how he's eating, interacting with anybody that he's around. So there's various different ways that roles that I play in keeping someone like Jeremy as stable as we can through the process.
So what were your observations when he was brought into the jail on December 2nd, 2023?
Pretty labile. I moved up and down. He was taken by force into the cell. He was just very angry. He appeared angry, is what it looked like to me.
And are you part of the team that gives him some medication? Started with some medication for him?
Yes. I work with the doctors that we have and the nurses, and through my assessments and the things that we work on together, they visit with the patients as well, Jeremy in this case, and we would work together to see if we could find a medicine that would help.
And do you recall what medicine you started off with, Jeremy?
I believe it was a medicine called olanzapine.
Is that an antipsychotic?
Yes.
And did that seem to work?
Yes.
Did his irrational behavior start to temper?
Yes.
When did you start to see some improvement in his behavior?
Well, probably 4 or 5 days after he came in and got on the medicine and started to settle down, and then it kind of just tapered as the weeks went by.
Are you part of giving him a diagnosis, or is that done by someone else?
The diagnosis, like a formal diagnosis, is normally done by someone outside of the facility. My general perspective of it would be to put it like a mood disorder unspecified, or a psychosis unspecified.
And do you recall how many medicines that he was then put on when he started out in December of 2023?
I don't recall how many he was on at that point in time, but he eventually was on, I want to say, 3 different medications.
Those for mental health. Were there also other medicines other than mental health, like high blood pressure?
Yes, yeah. There have been some throughout his time there where his health, like many, would be up and down, and he would require different medications. I don't recall what they all were. I know one was for blood pressure.
And then others were for to control the psychotic features.
Yes.
And did you have a conversation with Jeremy about what had happened?
Not specifically. I don't recall probing for anything of what happened. On occasion, there would be a mention of what happened as far as if he was having like a nightmare or a flashback of maybe not necessarily the incident, but something that was I guess scary or that bothered him.
Is it fair to say initially in December of 2023, it started out he had no memory of what had happened?
That was what he had said.
And then as time progressed with the antipsychotic medications, he started to recall some details. Is that fair to say?
I wouldn't. My visits with him, it seemed like more started happening when he started going through his interview and seeing pictures, hearing work, looking at different things, reading through things. It seemed like when those things started, then the symptoms increased.
Okay. So by interviews, you mean his lawyer was coming to see him and talking to him about the case?
Well, it was all of the stuff. I mean, there were people that would come in and they would do his psychological evaluations, and they would do like a pre-sentence investigation or things like that. So through all of those things, it seemed like everything, negative symptoms increased.
What can you tell us about his remorse or regret?
I can say from not long after he came in, he would make comments that he would cry himself to sleep at night. He would think about it. That was the last thing he would think about before he went to bed, about his family. And on a number of occasions, he would get emotional in just talking about not necessarily details of things, but of missing his family.
Has he been cooperative with you and your staff?
Yes.
Have you ever had a problem with him since he's been in jail?
No, I haven't.
Has he been kept in a special unit there in the jail for the last year and a half?
Yes.
What's that called?
It's a special housing unit. We just call it special housing. It's in the booking area. And for many months, he was by himself. And then as time went, he was able to be put around between 1 and 4 or 5 other inmates in the small kind of protected custody area. And his classification is administrative segregation, so he's monitored and has been since he's been.
And the special housing, is that where they hold people with mental health concerns?
Could be various concerns, yes, mental health concerns, medical concerns, behavioral concerns. Yeah, there could be a number of people who would be up there. Developmental concerns, yes.
Since he's been there a year and a half, do you two feel like you're friends? Do you consider you a friend?
I don't know. I mean, he might consider me a friendly person, but I feel like our relationship is also professional. He knows when I go to talk to him that I'm there to check on his mental health. And, when we have visited about lots of different things. And that's part of the reason I visit with him, is sometimes to just get him away from where he's at. It's kind of a mindfulness exercise to get his mind to not dwell on, all the negative, and sometimes that entails, talking about hobbies or other things like that. So, might consider it a friendly relationship.
Did he recently go off of his medication?
Yes. Yeah, a few months ago he stopped taking.
And is he back on now?
Yes.
Did he tell you why he went off his medication?
Yes.
What was that?
There was a couple of reasons. He had been having a number of health issues that, I think were partially related to the medicine. We kept a look at the doctor's notes, but we did notice that when he stopped taking them, those symptoms improved, the physical symptoms. So he was having some physical symptoms related to the medications, as well as, he kind of indicated that they were kind of numbing him, and he wasn't able to feel the feelings, maybe the remorse or the other things like that. He's like, I need to work on this stuff, and so he had decided he would just quit taking everything.
And so some of the side effects of the medications he was on was weight gain.
Yes.
And masking emotions is another symptom.
Well, it kind of has a numbing effect.
Numbing.
Yeah.
But now he's back on.
Yes.
Do you have any concerns about him being, for the last year and a half, being violent with staff or with another inmate?
No.
All right, thank you, sir.
Does the state have any queries?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. The court does have a question related to your comments about the use of medication and numbing. Can you speak to what he might be experiencing in the last few days associated with medication? His statements regarding the numbing effect.
Mm-hmm. So maybe most recently, the last few days, the biggest thing that it would do is help him sleep over the night. And then during the day, it would tend to kind of help. The medicine is also known as a mood stabilizer, so it would help his mind to stop from racing, and it would probably help some of the really strong emotions from peaking. So it would help from like super strong, maybe like panic attacks and intrusive thoughts, things that are alarming or making a person so overwhelmed they can't gather their thoughts.
Would you say he's affected today?
Well, I haven't seen him today.
In the last few days, by what you're suggesting, continued numbing.
By kind of numbing effect. Well, I saw him on Tuesday, and he seemed okay. Today, he might, we could reasonably say he would probably have an effect from the medicine that's keeping his moods more level.
Can you step down? Mr. Archibald.
I don't have any other questions.
Any other witness?
Michael Houston.
And nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Will you tell us your name and spell your last name?
Michael Houston, Huston.
Now, where do you live?
I don't know.
What do you do for a living?
I work as an administrative lieutenant for the Bonneville County Sheriff's Office.
What do you do for, what is that job title?
I am, as an administrative lieutenant, I'm responsible for several different duties within the jail. I do a lot of HR-related activities. I'm the PREA coordinator. I do internal investigations. I do records requests. There's a whole bunch of stuff I do.
Do you know Jeremy best?
I do.
Have you been employed there since you came to your jail December 2nd, 2023?
I have.
And are you the point of contact then in the jail for jail records?
I am.
So I imagine you've heard a lot from Mary Goody.
Yes, me and Mary Goody communicated several times by email.
And so she asked for information and you provided to her.
Yes.
How would you, have you ever had a conversation with Jeremy Best? Do you know him at all?
A little bit, not real at-length conversations, no. But I have interacted with him a few times.
And has he been cooperative with you and your staff?
He has.
Has he been a problem at all?
Other than the initial 2 weeks or so that he had come in, he's been a really good inmate. That's how I describe it.
And so when he initially came in, is it fair to say he was still having some mental health issues?
I don't know if they were mental health or what they were. He was acting differently than he has been acting since he stabilized.
But you don't claim to be a mental health expert.
No.
All right. Has he been disciplined for anything in the jail?
He has never been disciplined the entire time he's been in our facility.
All right. Thank you, Lieutenant.
So, Lieutenant Houston, your interaction has been only within a structured environment of jail, right?
Yes.
And I guess I'm interested, if an inmate wants to stop taking medication, that's his right.
Yeah, we cannot force medicate without court order.
Okay. And so, whether it's in a structured environment or in prison, anytime he'd be serving a sentence, then the decision whether to continue to take medication would be solely his to make.
As far as our facility, he has that option to take them or not take them. I don't know about a prison, it would depend on their own policies and what they have in place.
How long was he in custody before he decided he wasn't going to take medication?
I don't know exactly. I'd have to review his medical records to know that information. I don't know.
But how long have you?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question, Mr. Moore.
I think.
A little louder.
How long have you had him in the jail?
Since December of 2023.
So well under 2 years.
Yes.
And in that time period, he decided he wasn't going to take his meds.
Yes.
No further questions.
And I have any regret. Thank you. You may step down.